Hello, we're back. Welcome to Football is Life. Here we go. Can't wait to get through this episode, okay? Obviously, a quiet week of football this week, fairly quiet. We've had some big news, obviously, and that's what the episode is mainly going to be about tonight. But yeah, a quiet week. The Premier League wraps up for a couple of weeks, doesn't it? And we've got the England games to look forward to. And we're going to be looking at England versus Uruguay this Friday night, amongst a few other things. Just make sure you like, comment and subscribe, please, people. Follow the channel, all right? And get behind the channel, support it. Here we go. We're going to delve straight in tonight, all right, on the big news this week. Mo Salah leaving Liverpool. Unbelievable, shocking news. Maybe not so much in terms of we maybe saw this coming, but regardless of any of that, it's still big news that Mo Salah will be departing Liverpool for pastures new. A lot of questions behind it. Is it the right time? Obviously, will go down as an icon and a legend of the Premier League. So it's massive news. I mean, where will he end up? We've heard reports it could be America, could be Saudi Arabia. We don't know, but still a sad day, obviously, that Mo Salah will be leaving English football at the end of the season. Hopefully he goes out on a real high. No doubt the last game at Anfield is going to be a big emotional occasion. Does he go down as an icon of English football? That's a big question. Yes or no? Let me know. Comment. All right, like, subscribe. Let me know in your comments. Does he go down as an icon, a Premier League icon, the best African player to probably ever play in the Premier League? For me, it's a big yes on all of them. No doubt he's an icon. One of the top goal scorers that we've had in the Premier League. Kind of reinvented the wheel as well of being, a wide player that kind of added massive amount of goals and assists season on season. And yeah, we can all watch Mo Salah now, and he's lost a yard of pace, and he'll obviously go to probably a less of a level where he's going to hit those high numbers again, and play out his career. Definitely on a top personal level, stats wise and things like that. But it's probably the right time. You've seen this season his output's gone down. He has lost a yard of pace, and definitely the right time. But yes, he goes down as an icon, 100%. And then the question as well is, who can Liverpool actually replace him with? I mean, if you don't get an absolute top draw, top three player, or someone that can play in the front three that is of a real level, then you're not replacing him. The only hope is you can replace him over the course of a long-term period with an up-and-coming player that is going to be on that kind of Salah level. But, that is massively difficult to do, massively difficult to replace Mo Salah. Where you could go, I don't know. I mean, just off the top of my head now, top-level players, very hard to find. And if you're going to do that, it's going to be big, massive money. Like could a Michael Olise, for example, come in but you're talking hundreds of millions of pounds to replace Mo Salah. Yes, they'll have saved on the wages, for next season, but it won't be a scratch on a transfer fee, and a big loss to the Premier League. A player that I could give a shout out to that I like is Mane at Wolves. Could he be, or that type of signing of maybe a player with huge potential coming in to replace him? But that's the headline. The headline of the episode tonight: Mo Salah departing Liverpool. Very sad stuff. Irreplaceable, more than likely. And yeah, let us know your thoughts, please. Join the debate. But yeah, big news this week, and could have come on a little bit earlier talking about it, but it still deserves to be the headline this week of his departure. So yeah, sad times there, and a true Premier League great, a player that I've loved watching over the years. Top draw. I remember him being at Chelsea and years ago predicting that I think he could go to the top, and that was in doubt at that point, and he proved to be a top three player in the world, no doubt, during that time under Klopp, when Liverpool were firing and Salah winning the big trophies and Liverpool winning the big trophies. So yeah, massive player, and it'll be interesting to see who replaces him. And also another bit of news coming out of Liverpool, or more rumour I suppose, is that Arne Slot could leave at the end of the season in in favour of a new manager. And Xabi Alonso is being linked massively all the time with Liverpool. And that's a really interesting one. He hasn't got a job. He's there in waiting. For me, it easily could be a deal that's already done. That they're just waiting until the summer. But I just think that would be a top appointment. I don't think Arne Slot's done too wrong. Won the Premier League in his first season, but you could say that was a rollover season from all the work that Klopp did, and on the back of that. And since he's been able to put his own players in, they've not come up to that level and the level of being the top team in England. So I can see it happening. I can see Alonso going there in the summer, and I do think it would be a shrewd appointment. You don't want to see anyone out of a job, and you don't want to talk other managers down and say Slot should go. But I think if the chance for Alonso is there for Liverpool, it just seems the perfect fit to do it. So I can totally see that happening. I think that would be a great appointment for Liverpool. So yeah, another interesting one. Let us know. Would you rather have Slot stay in, Liverpool fans, or would you rather have Alonso in? Or just, neutral football fans, do you think Xabi Alonso would be a good appointment for Liverpool? So interesting one there, and it would be an interesting appointment for sure. Could he bring Liverpool back to the top of English football? And a quick one, because it's a quiet week, Premier League, we can have a look into a few other things. And I just wanted to bring up the Panenka penalty. What do people think of the Panenka penalty? Lately, it's been drawing lots of debate and lots of people talking about, when it works and when the time's right, and it works, it looks fantastic. When it doesn't work, people are looking a little bit silly, and then there comes the stick and the kind of criticism for trying it. What people tend to get a bit more irritated by, I suppose, is when a player does a Panenka on a crucial moment. So like when a penalty shootout is about to be decided, or a massive moment in a Champions League game or a Premier League, when the Panenka comes out and it doesn't go in, it just leaves the player foolish. And, should players of the top level, should they be pulling out the Panenka? Or should they just be, going through that process of bottom right corner, top right, bottom left, doing a proper technical penalty, that just law of averages is going to go in. So, and the reason I want to say it is, the World Cup's coming up, and I just know for sure that there is going to be a big moment in a big game or a big shootout where the Panenka is going to be tried, and it's going to be either an epic success or an epic fail. So give us your thoughts on the Panenka penalty. Should players be doing it? Yes or no? I don't mind it. It shows a bit of creativity, a bit of class, but you've got to be bold to do it. And I suppose that's the only thing we can back with the players, that the players that are doing it, they've got a set of balls, that they're bold to do it. So give us your thoughts on that one. Another thing as well, obviously dipping out, we've got no Premier League football, so a little look as well. I had a look today at the League One table, the Championship table, and what I was still quite shocked by and worried was Leicester City, that they still look in massive trouble. Like, I know it's a club in a little bit of turmoil, come down from the Premier League, and they've really, really struggled, and no one expected to see Leicester at this sort of stage in the position they are. So a quick one there, let us know, will Leicester go down or can they stay up? And if they go down, I really don't think it's going to be an automatic get back up out of League One. It's a really spiralling club, and it's got to be worrying. It's got to be worrying for Leicester fans. So Leicester fans, if you're watching, let us know what you think. But worrying times for the Foxes, and they might well be going down to League One. And it's kind of a bit like Tottenham. It's unbelievable to think, but it's got a real chance of happening with both Tottenham and Leicester. So really interesting. Will they drop down? And if they drop down, will they be able to get back up? Because, there's some decent teams at the top of League One, and the teams that come down from the Championship, it's going to be no way clear cut that they go back up. So worrying times there in the Midlands, no doubt, for Leicester City fans. And another one now, as we look forward to the England game, England versus Uruguay. The first bit of information that I suppose I found really kind of that I wanted to delve into a little bit, went down a rabbit hole and had a little look at his season is Miles Lewis-Skelly, is he a victim of a strong Arsenal squad and Arsenal being on the cusp of the Premier League? Because he just had nowhere near the minutes this season. at the start of the season, everybody would have put their house on that he was going to be playing left back for Arsenal or in the midfield, but getting loads of minutes and really progressing with his career. And this season, it's just kind of, yes, he's still young, but he was in the England team, he was in the Arsenal team, he was a breakthrough kid, and it's just kind of really halted this season. And, you know, his England place in doubt, he's gone down the pecking order. There's fullbacks injured right and left, and fullbacks that have gone ahead of him. So is he a victim? Can he still get in the England squad? You know, will he have the bright future that I thought he had, and probably loads of you watching? But Miles Lewis-Skelly, I just think it's kind of a sad state of his career at the moment that, you know, you almost would have fancied him going out on loan for 6 months to like a Fulham, or played the minutes, pushed for the World Cup. But obviously Arsenal weren't going to let that happen. But is he a real victim of Arsenal's success and a victim his career not playing for England? So, you know, I'm sure he would want to play more minutes and will be frustrated. And, you know, it looks like he's set to miss out on this year's World Cup. England v Uruguay. Okay, I'm going to give a little prediction and a couple of points on that. Obviously, a big 35-man squad, and, you know, players on the cusp of things are going to get more game time tomorrow night than the kind of players that have been around it for the last 12 to 18 months under Tuchel. So interesting. And there's a couple of players there that it looks set for, you know, whether they're gonna be the kind of the ones to really stake a claim. I mean, the first one is it looks set in training this week by all reports that Tuchel is a massive admirer of Cole Palmer. I mean, who isn't? I am. Everyone in football, in English football, knows his quality. You know, he's a maverick, he's quality, he's done it on the big stage. He's got an elite mentality as well for football, where he doesn't get flustered. He's produced it in big moments, and it does look like Tuchel's going to be going down the Cole Palmer route to be the answer for England. One I'm happy with, 100%. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Do you think Cole Palmer's the man? He's going to get the number 10 shirt. There's competition, there's Bellingham, there's Rodgers, there's Foden, there's a few. But, you know, it looks like Palmer is probably set to be the man at this moment in time. And it's an interesting one. So let us know your thoughts on that. And two players it's a really interesting night for tomorrow. Is Lewis Hall. Looks like he's going to probably play left back. Nico O'Reilly, if he does play, probably more in midfield. But he's still got that competition with Nico O'Reilly. Obviously, after the Carabao Cup, you'd fancy O'Reilly to be in pole position. But Lewis Hall, I think, will start tomorrow night, and he has a massive chance of making a big impact. Like, he has been quality for Newcastle lately, deserves his chance. I hope he has a good game, but so it's his chance to stake a real claim. Do we think Lewis Hall could be the starting left back in the World Cup for England? It would be interesting, but he's a good player and he has his chance tomorrow night. And another one then to finish up is James Garner, also from Everton. He looks set to play tomorrow for England. He's played some games actually at right back for Everton, so that could be a theory that we're looking at. You know, there's a few right backs out. Trent's not gone in. It was a good time for Trent to come in, you know, with the likes of Reece James injured and Carl Walker retiring from international football. But James Garner could be a right back contention, but I think he'll probably get his chance in midfield tomorrow, and it's another big night for him if he gets the opportunity, and Tuchel does give these players the opportunity to stake his claim for a World Cup spot. So really interesting game tomorrow. Despite all the rotations, it's a really good game to analyse players, have a look and see what sort of chance these players have of getting in the squad. Like, could a Henderson drop out at his age for a Ghana being selected, looking at the future? You know, that's an interesting kind of debate. And I think England will have a good night tomorrow on the pure fact that, yeah, there could be some new internationals and players without a lot of caps, but a lot of players that will be wanting, after good seasons for their clubs, to stake their claim, to get on the flight, to get to the USA and to the World Cup. So I do think England will beat Uruguay at Wembley, because I think there's a lot to play for these players staking their claim. So I'm going to go with England 3, Uruguay 1. All right. If you're playing any football, watching any football coming up this weekend, enjoy. All right. Hope you all stay safe out there. Thanks for watching the episode. It's been a pleasure to come back on. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Come on. Football is live. Come on, you legends. All right. I'll see you all soon. Bye.